Louisiana.
Let's talk about the holiday season. While this time may seem like a time of joy and family fun, for some it can be hard, very, very hard actually. The holiday blues may hit even harder this year because of this pandemic. And here to talk about some tips on how we can combat this thing called the holiday blues, please help welcome back friend to the show, Susan Harrington. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist from Maison Vie. Susan, I cannot talk today. Welcome back to the show.
It's because you did too much Black Friday shopping, Malik. That's
I'm
what that is.
telling you, right? I'm so tired, but I got the deals. And I am so glad that you are here to talk about this. We all know, and if you don't know, holiday blues is a real thing, but there's actually a technical term for it. What is the technical term for it? And who does this really affect?
So it's interesting. The technical term used to be seasonal affective disorder, and it was its own place, but it has switched, and now we call it seasonal depressive episode. They've because it's only a period of time, and so they've attached it under major depression. So that makes it more difficult in us having to separate it as professionals. Does a person have major depressive disorder, or does a person just have seasonal depressive episode happening? Those two are very much a thing.
Very, very interesting. And here's my next question for you, probably the most important question. How do we know if we're experiencing holiday blues? What does it look like?
So it looks different from depression in that depression is a cognitive issue that happens consistently, and we think very negatively about it. We think about negatively about all of the life in the world. That's major depression. However, for seasonal depressive episode, when that's happening, first of all, it's seasonal. It's typically during the late fall, early winter, right before spring comes up, it shows up, and then there's a lift after. It will also show like a significant drop in our energy. We will go from having lots of energy to the drop. You'll notice when the sun is now setting earlier, we have these earlier pieces, and people don't want to go outside. So we feel this drop of energy. There's
Very
also hypersomnia. Now, hypersomnia is just sleeping more. It's not that you want to stay in bed because you have the blues. You stay in bed because you're just so tired. There's that drop of energy showing up. We have an increase in our eating, and therefore the weight goes up. And we tend to lean toward carbohydrates more than other foods. And now that's difficult because during the holidays, what do we have more of but sweets and starches and carbohydrates than we have the rest of the year? The meals are just heavier.
And
So
during the holidays, we're inside more. So
right.
sometimes you have that time to reflect, and sometimes that may not be necessarily the best thing to do if you're experiencing the holiday blues. So, how can we combat the holiday blues, especially when so many other people are so happy and carefree, especially during this holiday season?
Right, right. That is the thing, right? To be around somebody that's happy when we're not happy, that's just really hard. People do a lot of fake it till you make it. I like to call it, your Academy Award winning, I'm fine attitude, all the makeup and everything. But on the inside, we're all just really exhausted and sad, that kind of thing.
Very
And
interesting.
go ahead.
I just want to know, how do you combat it? Because for me, I feel like I experience this not only during the holidays, but I feel like sometimes I have just a day, right, where I'm feeling a significant drop in energy,
Mhm.
and some of these things that people see during the holiday blues. Is it sometimes okay to feel that, or is that maybe a sign that maybe you might be having depression? I'm curious.
So the difference between a day of having that experience, that's not seasonal depressive episode or holiday blues. That's just the day. We can have those, we can come in and out and have days where we're just low in mood. That is normal and natural, and it's important to have those because it helps us feel a lift and feel happier, right? So when we have that seasonal affective aspect happening, it is very much in a season of time. And so there's a lift that just happens for no magical reason. Like all of a sudden we're happier. That's important. So some things that we can do when we're experiencing is first we have to decide, am I having this one because of something? So for example, we will attach anniversary events like a grief anniversary and think that that's a seasonal depressive episode happening, but that's a grief issue. That's a little bit different. Or we might think it's family drama. The holidays for a lot of folks bring family drama. And so looking at it from that perspective, then getting some help to decide how to communicate better might be important. It might be valuable to have conversations proactively with the family members and trying to experience a happier time and how to address everybody's needs.
When should we consider professional help? I'm
Yeah.
curious.
So with it's important to kind of check that out in the beginning because they are so close. Now that seasonal affective episodes are a part of major depression, it's important to get a professional's assessment or opinion. So the best place to start that is to go to the primary care physician that knows you the best, because that's the person who's going to see you in and out more regular. It's different doctors for different folks based on their health. So the one that knows you the best, and let him know or her know how you're feeling and what's happening. That doctor can make a decision if this is major depression, if this is just a seasonal event, if this is a grief event. They can help you make that decision. And if it's something that counseling and medication together would be helpful, the earlier you put that in place, the better, right? Probably the biggest warning sign if it's depression is when we don't want to do things that we usually like to do. That makes a big difference. If all the things I'm interested in, I really don't want to avoid them like the plague, then we probably need to get something addressed professionally.
Susan Harrington, I am here for this whole conversation. Some tips there. Again, holiday blues is a real. If you're feeling like it's becoming more than that, try to see a professional. And here's some good news, my friends. If you're a first responder, a healthcare worker, or an essential worker, check it out. Maison V is offering a free 90-minute session through the end of this year, both you and your family. All you have to do is call this number right here. You're about to see it on your screen. It's 504-452-5937. And do not forget, they are located at 1799 Stump Boulevard in